Hey, this is your girl, msyelladiva. I am bringing you another episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 16, Episode 5. About last night. It is the last episode that Kenya will be in. I am very, very sad. Okay. I'm very, very sad. I don't know how the season gonna go. They gonna bring Phaedra in at the last minute, and Phaedra ain't never helped no show. So I don't know what they thought that was gonna do. But excuse me. But yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. Anyway, I'm still gonna review it, But anyway, this your girl, msyelladiva. Let's start it. Just fine. If you are new here, welcome. We serve up reviews here, okay? I don't know why I'm so silly today. And if you are returning, welcome back, child. Okay? Give me a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and we will begin. Okay. Who is so hard to say goodbye? Anyway, Angela visits Shamia. And why, Shamia, she gonna knock on the door, right? And so Shamia was like, with that old school knock, you keep calling her old school. I'm gonna fight you, Shamia. I'm gonna fight you. But anyway, so Shamia tells Angela that she's happy that she accepted her apology, and they toast to a new beginning. Okay, now that food. Side note: that food looked real good. After Britt came and they had that nice little spread, that food looked real good. Them wings look really tasty. Anyway, so Britt arrives. She says she hadn't got any sleep since, last night. And Angela said she hadn't got any sleep too, because that owner was pissed off at Angela. Okay? Pissed off. Because the owner was like, did we need some security? Well, you did, because it was in Bankhead. But it was still nice. This nice. This real nice. You ain't got no roaches up in here, okay? It was real beautiful. But you probably did need some security because it was in Bankhead. But anyway, but she said, yeah, do we need extra security? And so Britt was like, who do I have to apologize to? Because she very, very apologetic. She on an apology tour about how she acted that night. Anyway, Shamia said, I hate when people cut me off. And Britt was like, yeah, because can you cut me off? And when I had the floor, they showed that beautiful bean footage, where Kenya did not cut you off, ma'am. Okay, so you was wrong. You was wrong. Okay, yeah, she did not cut you off, boo boo. Okay, she did not cut you off. Okay, so then Angela wrote the question about speaking to Britt nicely. I thought it was Britt. No, Angela wrote that question. Because I guess, when they had their walk in the park, she felt like, she was going to write a little note to Kenya talking about, can you speak to Britt nicely? But, it kind of backfired because she said I can speak to everybody nicely. And then Britt was like, just me. And she was that's when it all popped off. She was like, you have your moment. You have your moment. And then Britt said, yeah, you have your moment. She was like, Kenya was like, I am the moment. Ooh. I am the moment. I'm still on that. I'm still on that. Anyway, um, but Angela said, well, at the time, at the time of the question, every oh, excuse me, at the time the question was asked, everything had escalated. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. That question escalated it all. Escalated it all because they was laughing at what's that child name? Kenya's fat coochie. Okay. and then um and then and then they had a question about married women. She was like, because I'm used to it or whatever. So that question popped it off. So Angela, it's your fault. Okay, it's your fault. Unless they edit it out. Okay, they edited it out. But other than that, no, that question popped it off. And so Britt was like, I don't want anyone to think that I was trying to intimidate Kenya. Well, what was you trying to do, sister? What was you trying to do? When you said that you had a pistol in your purse, what was you trying to do? Make friends? Make friends? What was you trying to do? When you said you had a pistol, whips and pistols in your purse, I still don't know what you was trying to do. You was trying to intimidate her. So don't act like you wasn't. Get the fuck out of here. You don't act like you wasn't, okay? And then she was like, I wasn't trying to harm her. I can't tell. I can't tell. I can't tell. I can't tell you wasn't trying to harm her. I can't tell. Okay. you didn't act like you weren't trying to harm her. Okay. When you stormed out talking about you got your pistol and you got whips and chains, you ain't act like you wasn't trying to harm her. So Angela was like, listen, you gonna have to like fall to the floor or something, to apologize to her, because yeah, that's some serious business. And so Shamia said, yeah, you had jabs and reads that night. I ain't hear none of that, Shamia. I ain't hear none of that. Unless they edited it out. Because they could have edited it out. I ain't hear one read or one jab. But I heard a lot of reads from Kenya. I heard a lot of reads from Kenya. Okay. I ain't hear no reads from Britt. I heard complaining. I heard her being very aggressive. Um, I heard threats, but I ain't hear no reads and I ain't hear no jabs. So, enlighten me, Shamia, on the reads and jabs, okay? Just call me. Tell me what the reads and jabs were, okay? Because I ain't hear none of them. So Shamia asked Angela about her comments, Portia's comments about her husband. And Angela said, I married a celebrity. My DMs are flooded, okay? And she said, there's pretty much nothing that can rock this boat. Yeah, I know, we know. Not even a baby. Not even an outside baby. Yeah, it rocked Wendy's boat, but it didn't rock yours. Hey, it's okay. It is okay. That to each his own. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but she said, it's not a lot that can rock this boat. So then Britt said, I would have slapped somebody if they talked about my husband. Shamir was like, yeah, you still talking about violence, sister. And she's like, oh, yeah, you still talking about violence. Okay. You need to take anger management. Whoever help Portia with her anger management, you need a referral. Cause she ain't doing all that crazy stuff like she did back in the day. Okay, when she pulled Kenya's hair. Okay, when she ran into the back chasing after some girl, things like that. Yeah, yeah. Okay, you need to get a referral from Portia. Okay, for her anger management people. Okay, cause you need some anger management, okay? Cause you consistently talking about violence, talking about guns and all that other stuff. That ain't cute. That ain't cute. And if you keep talking about it, you won't be a housewife anymore. Mark my words, okay? Catch them T's, okay? So Kenya Moe Hair Spa, Portia and Kelly visit Kenya Moe Hair Spa, okay? And then Kenya make a joke to say, y'all gonna fight each other over here? Because, Portia, well, Kelly, at the first scene, Kelly said, why you still that lady husband? And so Portia was not happy with Kelly, but apparently they happy now. Who cares? I don't care. And so, Kenya was like, I got security. And then she pointed at the door. And Kelly said, my security is outside. And Portia said, I'm my own security, so try it. Okay. So whatever the game may be. Side note, we still haven't filmed in Portia's house. Okay, I'm just letting that go. We still haven't haven't filmed in Portia's house. Okay, just just letting you know. Okay, um, so Kenya pouring some champagne or something to Kelly and Portia. So then Kelly was like, "Yeah, you're a good hostess," and she said she said, "Yeah, I haven't been told that all what she say? I haven't always been told that." Yeah, yeah, because Bolo Gate, when you order food for you and nobody else. I remember that. I remember. And I know Portia remember that, honey. I know because Portia had a good time in Bolo Gate. You remember that there. You done got in there, girl. You done got your thruffle on. You got your threesome on, girl. Yeah, yeah. Those good times. And Portia laughing over there because she said, she was thinking to herself, oh, those were some good times. Those were some good times. Ooh. But yeah, Kenya, you wasn't a good hostess. You was not a good hostess, okay? Anyway, so they're looking for models for the opening day. And so Kelly said, what happened that night? And so Kenya was like, listen, we were just laughing about how big my vagina is and stuff like that. And then Portia interrupts and she said, yeah, it definitely took a wrong turn. And so Portia was like, Kenya disengaged And she was walking away, and then and she said, and that's when you heard what you heard. And yeah, and Kenya was like, yeah, she crazy. She said she too much, and she was like, I got too much to lose. She was like, she crazy. She was like, you mentioning pistols. And she said, in the level of disrespect and aggressive nature, how she spoke to me. And then Kelly trying to say, oh, she's not that person. She's not that person. She taking up for her former friend because they ain't even friends no more. Woo, woo, woo. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah. They ain't even friends no more. You taking up for her. And I need to know what the demise of your friendship was, okay? Because y'all ain't even friends no more, okay? So, Kelly was like, I think you should talk to her. And Kenya was like, I'm going to do a background check on her. And she was like, and I'm twirling on my haters. And she twirling out the door. Kelly was like, you need to do some background checks on these people that's working here. And working at her establishment. She should do background checks on them too, okay? But she should definitely do background check on Britt. She just shouldn't post everything. Yeah. She shouldn't post everything. Not just, you should have not had that last picture up, okay? But anyway, so Angela meets up with her daughter Amari. She is 24 years old. Um, Angela says she lost her father. And when she was 7, her father was murdered in Chicago. And yeah, the grandmother was supposed to meet them there to talk, and the grandmother declined. Okay. Amari says apparently Amari stayed with the grandmama and the sister in the house that Angela pays for, and Angela gave her mama a car, and Amari wanted to use it, and I don't know what happened, what transpired between the auntie, and what's her name? I think her auntie is named Alicia, her aunt Alicia, and Amari, but yeah, she at this what she said. She said she asked me for money, and she called me a demon seed. We don't know what transpired, why she called her a demon seed, and why she asking her for money. She's 24 years old. I know the auntie older than that. What's going on with that auntie? That she borrowing money from a 24-year-old? Okay, and probably not borrowing. She probably not gonna pay it back. Okay, she probably not gonna pay it back. Okay, that not good. That not good. Okay. So I don't know what's going on with the mama. I mean, with the thing, but I'm telling you what, it couldn't be me. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. It couldn't be me. So mama was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Okay, she diagnosed with bipolar disorder, but she was on medication, but then she said she healed herself. She healed herself, so she ain't on medication no more. So the bottom line is, okay. But I cannot see. I'm legally blind. Okay. The bottom line is, I just had to put that on there. Okay. The bottom line is, either she was misdiagnosed, okay, and she needs to continue her medication because you can't heal yourself from bipolar, or she no, if she was misdiagnosed, then she probably was misdiagnosed, so she healed herself from whatever condition that she had, or whatever you know, mental things that she had. But if she wasn't misdiagnosed, then she needs to keep taking her medicine, okay? So she was misdiagnosed. But I cannot see. I'm legally blind. I love it. She like her. Anyway, so also Amari got married. And the streets are saying she married an actual woman. Hey, that's great. You still too young to marry. You still too young to get married. You 24. You still too young to get married. And then she acted like it's no big deal. I'm married. Nothing's changed. Oh, yes, it did. Oh, yes, it did. Okay. But whatever the case may be, she's still too young to get married. And does she play basketball? Because she real tall. She real tall. And why the auntie asking her for money? Does she play basketball or something? Is she in the NWACP? What? Sorry. Is she in the the WNBA? Yeah, that's what it is. WNBA. I don't know. Or is she playing like out of the country? You know how those people go out of the country to play basketball? I don't know. I was just like, why is Aunt asking her for money? I don't know. So Angela crying because she didn't tell her that she was married. She started crying because she felt ganged up on, and then that was the end of that scene. All right. Britt and Portia meet up. Okay. So Britt was like, oh, Jesus Christ, I just can't. I just can't. Give me that. Golly, okay. Britt was like, I thought me and Kenya were cool. But when she's in the group, when she's around the group, she like to put on a little bit.
Stop it. Get some help. Shut up, bitch!
Okay. Come here, Britt. Unless it was edited out. When weren't you in a group setting with Kenya? Huh? When weren't you in a group setting with Kenya? Okay? Because you were at the Baumount event where she called you Baumount, was it Baumount? Whatever the fuck shit is. But she called you a Barbie. You were at the vault. You were at Shamia's birthday party. What else? Drew didn't have anything yet. Cynthia didn't have anything yet. Who else? Portia. Portia can't even film in her own house. So, when weren't you in a group setting with Kenya? Huh? Come, tell me. Call me. Let me know. Okay. Yeah. So unless, like I said, unless it was edited out, y'all was always in a group setting. So you don't know how she is outside of a group setting. Portia said people think that Kenya is dismissive. No, people said that Kenya wasn't dismissive when she was talking about about where her band is and stuff like that. Portia wasn't there because she was late to that event. It was Shamia's birthday, and all the other ladies saying that she wasn't dismissive. She was just asking a question. But apparently, Britt took it as being dismissive, and now she had an attitude with Kenya through the whole 5 episodes. Okay, and so Britt was like, "I think she's just targeting me," and she was just like, "Well, she didn't do that to the other new ladies, like Kelly and Angela. So why would she be targeting you?" Yeah, why would she be targeting you? And so Portia was like, I think you have a preconceived notion about Kenya. Yeah, because you're a fan. Okay? You are a fan. And you watch Kenya through all these seasons. And you watched her be a villain. Okay? Because they edited her to be a villain. So she just ran with it. And now you think you are up against this same villain. This same villain ain't the same villain as the previous villain because she got a baby now. Okay. Everything turns around when you have an offspring. Like Portia, she got to get her hustle on. Okay, she got to get her hustle on to support PJ. You have to do for your child. So, but she was a villain back in the day. So that's the Kenya you trying to see. But that's not the Kenya anymore. Because first of all, Kenya's older. Second of all, she has a child. Okay. She said that girl, that Queen Bee, and she comes around and she tried to little girl you, and they showed that beautiful bean footage of her and her and Kenya getting into it, and she was like, "Bye, Ashy," and things like that. Yeah. So that's the Kenya that she want to come up against, but that Kenya does not exist anymore. Cause just like Portia said, this Kenya is totally different. This Kenya don't even give a damn. That is her words. This Kenya don't give a damn. So she was ready to go with Kenya, but this Kenya don't give a damn. Okay, unless you push her, and you have pushed her, and you get your repercussions. I feel like you should have repercussions too, because I don't think nobody threatened anybody with a firearm. I don't know about on the shows that I've seen. I don't think nobody threatened anybody with a firearm. Now, Corey did bring a firearm to the Real Housewives reunion some years ago, but they told him he needed to leave it in the car. But I don't think nobody, threatened anybody with a firearm. So I think you should have some repercussions too, as well as Kenya. But that was my point. But the season is over anyway. But Britt said, I can 100% apologize if she felt threatened. She did. That's why she left in Portia's car, because she wasn't waiting on hers, okay? And she said, I don't have any issues with her, and I was wrong. Yes, you were wrong, and you do have issues with her. Let me give you your song.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Okay. Why the fuck you lying? Because you know you lying. Oh, okay. So this scene cracked me the fuck up. This was the funniest scene out of out of this episode. This was the funniest thing. Angela's getting dressed for Kenya's grand opening, right? She calls now. Charles is where he's supposed to be and where he is good at in the kitchen cooking. So she invites him. No, she calls Charles to the bathroom, and she invite him to go to Kenya's party, and he was like, "It's a hair spa, right?" He said, "Well, I got hair." He said, "No, I just got it lined up yesterday. What can they do for me?" Like, he said, and then she was like, "Do you probably be the only man there?" He was like, "So why should I go?" just, just. So then, Portia said that she got some tea on you, Charles. Charles was like, "Is she a fan of something?" He said, "Is she a fan of something?" Yes, she is a fan, but he said she don't even know me. She better stay in her lane. She is barking up the wrong tree. Yes. And so Angela was like, "No, yeah." He said she barking up the wrong tree. She said she better hit her brakes a couple times. She better hit her brakes a couple times. Then Angela was like, "Listen, let me handle it." He said, "You should handle it when she said it." You big dummy. That ain't what he said. But I put that on there because I swear to God, he sound like Fred Sanford. You should have handled it when she said it. You big dummy. He ain't say you big dummy, but I put that in there because it was funny. Because I swear to God, he reminded me of Fred Sanford when he said it. Oh my God. And he was like, "Google me and see what come up. See what come up." Oh my God. Charles, you need to stay on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay? You need to stay on. You can get married again. I don't care. You need to stay on Real Housewives of Atlanta because you was cracking me the fuck up. And so Angela was like, "I got you. I got you." And he was like, "Just do your job, and when your job is done, let me know." And then he's like, "Dang it, I'm cooking." He went back into the kitchen. Who? Charles, crazy. So then, and this ain't ending. Okay, so then he goes back in. Angela comes in and she immediately wash her hands. Then she does. Then she was helping the child with some food or something like that, and he was like, "You better wash your hands." She was like, "I did," and so they of course rewound it. Showed the footage so where she washed her hands. So then Angela tries to talk to Charles about her mother and her sister issues. And Charles like, "I ain't talked to my sister in a while, it's okay." And she was just like, "But, the stuff is going on with my mom and sister." Then he said, "Well, why you keep bringing your issues to me?" And she was like, "'Cause you're my husband." Jesus Christ. That doggone Charles. He had me laughing so much. Oh my God, Charles. I don't know if I could be married to you because you is just a laugh a minute, okay? I've been like Angela too. I'm gonna take care of it. Wait a minute, Charles. He just talking, laughing and trying to talk to him. Oh God. Anyway, so the spa grand opening. Okay, all right. This is where we get to. Okay, we. This is what we get to. Okay, Cynthia arrives and she on the red carpet. They got some news people out there, some bloggers or whatever, and they got a little paparazzi and stuff like that. So she on the red carpet. Then Shamir gets out the car, and so Shamir was like, what's going on out here?" And so Cynthia was like, "We're waiting on Kenya," and she was like, "Oh, I thought this was for me." Shut up, Shamia. So then Kenya arrives. She got out all hair and purple dress on, looking good and stuff like that. And then Portia arrives right after Kenya, okay? But she arrived at least semi on time, okay? Semi on time. So they take a picture and everything like that. And then Angela arrived. She's stunting on these hoes, honey. She had this beautiful dress on and her menopause fan. Yes, honey. Stunting on these hoes. Stunting on. um, so then Miss Lawrence. Oh, I miss Miss Lawrence. Okay. Oh man, I miss seeing him on my TV screen. Yes, Miss Lawrence was there. And Kelly picked up Britt, you know. So they ride together. Now they late as hell, but I think they supposed to be late. Okay, I guess. Okay, because that when Kenya can just do her thing. Yeah, yeah. So, so but Britt, these hats. Okay, these hats.
What the hell? Oh my God, no way.
These hats, honey. These hats don't go with no outfits, girl. And it seemed like you had the same hat on in a different color. It was still not cute. It wasn't cute when you had your dinner with Portia, and it's not cute now. But anyway, Kenya is recreating the Bronner Brothers show. Okay, and that was the hair show where they had all the big hair. They did have like a reality show with Bronner Brothers too. It was some kind of series or something. Because I remember seeing that because I remember that was where I saw Miss J. Miss J, that one wear the heels. I think so. I think that's what his name is. They had Miss Lawrence, and I think that's his name is. And they had that little show fashion something with Bevy Smith. Whatever the case may be, that the little short guy with the heels that did Kim Zolciak's hair. Yeah, that's where I saw him at. But yeah, those hairstyles was crazy. I ain't like half of them, but they was crazy. But anyway, they have all these ladies come out. It's about five maybe. Come out, got, one was like a spider. One had like a something that's in the hair. Yeah, it was crazy. So, um, it was nice anyway. Moving on. Drew arrives late. She arrives after the show, and she arrives with her she arrives, shows up late with her sister again, Heavy D. That what Portia called her, not me. That what Portia called her. Okay, her sister Allison. So Shamia and Portia and Cynthia's talking. And so um Angela was like, oh, Cynthia was like, you and Angela are friends now, talking to Shamia. Shamia was like, yeah, I apologize. And then so Cynthia looked over to Portia. She was like, well, did you and Drew make up? And she said, no, you ain't. She said, you, no, you ain't missed that. She said that didn't happen. And then Cynthia was like, yet. So, and Portia was like, I am very much hot. Okay. So then, Angela, Kenya pulls Angela to the side and tells her that, she thanks her for reaching out because you were the only one to reach out. And Angela was like, you didn't deserve that. She said, and I apologize for you not feeling safe. So Portia tells Cynthia that Britt mentioned a pistol. And so Cynthia was like, she was packing? And she was like, you don't bring it up unless you're about to use it. And that's what everybody's saying. So then Portia was like, yeah, Kenya was very offended. And she said, and when you're that offended, you tend to, she said, you tend to retaliate. And she said, and I think she's definitely going to retaliate. And so, I totally agree with you, Portia. She gonna retaliate, okay? So Drew went to hug Portia. And so then, she backed up. And so Drew was like, I don't bite. And then Portia was like, not to my face. And Drew was like, okay, well, let me hug everybody else. And then Drew was like, we don't act like we don't exist. And so Cynthia was like, yes, I agree with that. And then Portia was like, shut up, you ain't even been here. And then they started laughing. And so Drew said, we had this conversation. And so Portia was like, you're lying. Everything that comes out your mouth, you're lying. I do believe they had a conversation, and I do believe this is made up, so it can take the focus off of her divorce, because she ain't got nothing else to talk about, and putting it on Drew and Dennis. I think this is made up. I think she didn't care nothing about them working together in the studio. I think Dennis talked to her, and I think Drew talked to her. I don't believe none of this. But this is what she said. Did what she said. Did what she said.
Why the fuck you lying?
Okay, that what she said. Okay. And so Drew was like, we ain't had a convo after my birthday party. What is happening? And so Portia was like, don't come over here singing a song. I said, God damn, Portia. And so Drew was like, we're both going through divorces, so you tell me what you're really feeling. And Portia walked away because she know when Drew brings up her divorce, she got to leave town. She got to go somewhere else because she don't want to talk about her divorce. Okay. So that's why she walked away. So Kenya comes over, ignores Britt, don't take her flowers, okay? Told somebody to go outside and give it to somebody homeless, okay? Along with the card, Kelly tried to save the card, but she said, no, you gonna get this card. So Britt leaves. She was just like, that's if you're not gonna accept my apology, I'm leaving. So Kenya makes an announcement thanking everybody for coming. Okay, and then she makes a speech about Britt. Now Britt is not there, so thank you Jesus. She's outside. Okay, so she make a speech about people trying to have a moment with her, and but she's paying them dust. Okay, she's paying them dust because she's trying to have a moment with her. She said, "Cause I am that bitch. I'm still that bitch, and I've been that bitch." Then she said that she also was talking about having a gun. So I did my research, and I found out who this bitch is. Okay, and then she pulled the sign up talking about who this hoe. And then she was talking about all her plastic surgery that she done had. Okay, all of this plastic surgery on that first poster board. Okay, so then she put that down. Then she pulled up the next one. As she put that down, Kelly is making her way out. She leaves. Then she says she used to be a video hoe. I used to be in videos, but I was the main star. Da 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 da. But she is a video hoe. And so Kelly talking about, everybody was a hoe. You was a hoe back then too, and everything like that. And so, you know, I I was a hoe back then, but that I'm thinking on me. Okay, I'm thinking on me. I was a hoe back then. Okay, but okay, I don't know if Kenny was a hoe back then. Kelly, you was probably a hoe back. No, you was probably a baby. But anyway, so then she held up the third poster board, and from the shock of all the people, because they didn't show what the poster board showed, but from all the shock of it, that must have been that must have been that picture, okay? Then Cynthia confirmed it. She was like, nobody's trying to see no girl sucking somebody's dick. There you go. Can I put my balls in your jaw? Your jaw. Balls in your jaw. Sorry. I'm sorry. Woo. So, Portia Lee, she said, I don't even want to be on camera anymore. She was like, please take that camera out my face. Please take that camera out my face. So, after, so everybody's trying to leave, and Cynthia goes to Kenya. She was just like, I think you're bigger than this, and we'll talk, and I love you. Now, Cynthia, come here, baby. You said you ain't talked to her since this happened. You said you ain't talked to her since this happened. Okay. So I don't know when you talk, but you said you ain't talked to her since this happened. But that was the end of the episode. They said that Kenya ain't filming no more episodes. She won't be in the rest of the season and all this other stuff. And I just... Cynthia, Kenya, I hope you come back next season. But I'm like Erica De Niro TV. Shout out to her. I'm like, maybe you shouldn't be doing anything with Truly Original, because if they didn't kick her off and they kicked you off, then they got some splaining to do. Some splaining. Okay? But I hope you come back next season. I really do. Okay? But this your girl. Give me a thumbs up. Like, share, and subscribe and comment to my channel. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.